Minister Reddy, you were speaking earlier on about the challenges that you faced in the context of a newly formed state and trying to respond to the pandemic. Just talk to me then about how do we future-proof health systems against those kind of pandemics that you've spoken about from a governance perspective as well.
As I said earlier, governments would have to be focusing on two things. One is preventive care, and the other is curative care. And looking at this from the lens of how to improve this health care, one would have to be talking about availability, accessibility of health care, and also affordability of health care. All these three would have to be moving in line. In order to do that, from my state's perspective as to how we have been wanting to move forward is, we've taken every 2,000 people, every population with every village with 2,000 population as a unit, and we're coming up with village clinics.
Okay.
And then we're taking up every 30,000 population as a unit and classifying it as mandal, and where we're coming up with 2 PHCs, primary health centers. These primary health centers would have 4 doctors, 2 of the doctors present in each of the PHC center, and they would be given an ambulance, 104, and each of this doctor would be given their designated villages. So 5 villages or 4 villages, depending on the mandal size, to each of these doctors. And these doctors, every alternate day, would hop onto the ambulance and visit the village. And they would become the family doctor for that village. Very soon the doctors, because they've been designated only those 4 villages, so they would start to identify people by names, and they would use this village clinic as a hub. This village clinic primarily would be having an A&M, nursing graduate, mid-level health practitioner, and ASHA workers that we spoke about also reporting there. So that would take care of the preventive part. Now comes the curative part. The curative part would be dealing with the community, with district hospitals, the teaching hospitals. The area hospitals and the teaching hospitals are going to play a very critical role there. So there we are coming up with every parliament taken as a unit in order to ensure that there is equitable distribution of teaching hospitals. Because only when you establish teaching hospitals, you have postgraduate students actually coming up there. And only when you have postgraduate students doing their course there, and these teaching hospitals are connected to a hospital, a teaching hospital as well. So teaching college and teaching hospital together would become the tertiary care that we are looking for.